What's going on YouTube? So Genesis is a brand on the move, and their latest move is launching into high performance vehicles. And today we're standing next to the first of their high performance line called Magma. This is the GV60 Magma. As you can see, this is a very bold vehicle, and today we're going to take a detailed first look at this model. Let's get to it. So let's jump right into the exterior design, and you don't have to have me tell you the reason why this is called Magma. You can see right off the bat, we've got this new signature color called Magma Orange, which is super bold looking and I think looks absolutely fantastic. Now, the GV60 in general is getting updated this year, so we've got those new design language elements added to this, but of course, the Magma is the real show here with the very aggressive lower fascia. You can see a lot of gloss black accenting through here, as well as a special mesh design, and then a gloss black finish for your Genesis logo. Of course, we have the signature split crystal LED headlights here on this model as well. Moving on to the wheels, you're going to see a high-performance tire wrapped around a 21-inch alloy wheel. Obviously, performance is really the name of the game with this model, and to back that up, we also have the matching Brembo brake calipers peeking out behind. Now, as you can see, this is going to be wider than the standard version of the GV60, of course, so we have these extra elements here in the fender. And then coming up here to our mirrors, of course, as a luxury vehicle, you're still going to get all the expected features.
Now, at the site of the GV60 Magma, overall vehicle length is around 178 inches, so it's the same size, roughly, as all the other GV60s, and it certainly has a very bold look. I have to say, definitely, kind of widening this vehicle out gives it a lot cooler of a look to me as compared to a regular GV60. You also have the pop-out door handles, and as we sweep around to the rear, oh my goodness, there is no mistaking this for any other vehicle on the market, that is for sure, because Genesis has really amped up the aggressiveness. So, well, what's the main element of that? Well, this huge spoiler up here at the top. As you can see, it stands really tall off of the body of this vehicle, and that's, of course, going to give it a very cool and premium look. It also has these little winglets here on the side as well. There's no rear wiper though, so keep that in mind. Genesis branding is going to be blacked out, and let's take a look at our taillights. So our taillights are, of course, fully LED as expected from a luxury vehicle. That will include things like your brake light, your turn signal, and your reverse light. And then dropping down to the lower fascia, of course, this is an electric product, so you're not going to have any exhaust outlets, but they've really done their best to make this as aggressive as possible. Now, also as expected on a luxury vehicle, you're going to have all of your active safety features as standard equipment. That will even include things like Highway Drive Assist 1.0. And because this is a high-end GV60, that also will likely mean this will actually come standard with Highway Drive Assist 2.0, which will do things like automatic lane changing. But guys, there's a pretty cool interior that we need to talk about. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We started young, and since then we've reviewed over 2,000 cars at every price point.
No matter what you're looking for, from sound level readings to cargo measurements, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars. All right, now on to the inside. Like Mason was mentioning earlier, you've got those pop-out door handles. Getting inside is nice and easy. And then check out this interior. So Genesis did a great job with making the GV60 Magma have a lot of special elements that shows you you're really in a high performance vehicle. That begins with the seats. So you've got this very unique design here. First of all, it's a high performance bucket, so you'll notice that the side bolsters here are going to be very aggressive. They're really going to hold you in place. You also have that performance one-piece design here, and then the center of the seat is finished in a Alcantara with more of the orange stitching running throughout, and then you've got the Napa leather on the outside edges with the stitching. We also have the orange seat belts as well, so a lot of nice color splashes. The seats themselves still are nice and adjustable. As you can see, you even have a power thigh extension, and then memory seats are located on the door trim as well. But let's go ahead and climb inside. Now, as far as the other cabin materials inside of here, again, very high quality. We've got a suede over here on the door trim with the stitching detail that continues to the center section, and the top part will be all covered in a leather. The upper part of the dashboard is all leather with stitching details, and then through the center we have kind of a darkened trim as well as down here. This is not going to be padded or anything like that, but everything does feel nice and high quality. And then, of course, we've got that really cool, you probably saw this on some of the previous versions of the GV60, but this kind of orb that pops out, serves as a shifter, and just looks like basically art all of the time, even when you're not using it. Now, everything's already booted up here, so we can get into some individual details, starting with the gauges. So, as you can see, we've got, well, we have the new 27-inch dual display setup like you've seen on some of the other Genesis products. It's absolutely a beautiful OLED display. But you can see we also have the special performance gauges here on the Magma. So you've got all those different readouts and things because this is a vehicle that you can drive on the track. And then you also have a head-up display with some of those same details up there as well. Now as we pull back to the steering wheel, we've got a nice performance-oriented wheel. You have the leather wrapping with perforation and stitching details. Of course, these are two very prominent buttons here, your Magma, and you also have your drive mode control. And then you can press the boost here, which will give you the ability to hit that maximum power for when you really want to give it everything it's got to the maximum degree. Now, let's take a look at some interior storage stuff. We'll open up the center console. You got a little bit of space in here, nothing too much. You have your wireless phone charging pad in front of that. 2 cup holders, but of course this really is where the GV60 shines because they just leave all of this area open as well as this big storage area there, so you just have full flexibility of whatever you need to kind of just get in here, throw it into that center section. You can do that nice and easily. Now I already mentioned kind of the orb here. We also have a controller which can operate the infotainment system. We have our volume knob here and also our fingerprint reader. On board is a Bang & Olufsen sound system, of course, like many other Genesis products. That sounds absolutely fantastic. Now, one of the things that's nice about this is even though it's an electric product, we've got predominantly physical controls for many functions. So you've got the nice toggles here to adjust the temperature up and down. You also have controls for your different media functionalities. And then you got the little screen right here for a few of the additional functions on board. Then as far as the heated and ventilated seats, those are located back here. I'm very impressed to see that that's still here on the Magma, even though it's got those high performance buckets. I really like that they're giving you that performance and functionality. All right, now zeroing in up here on our main display, first of all, you can see we've got the 360 camera on board. But like I was saying earlier, this does have the 27-inch OLED display, just a beautiful display that goes all the way across from side to side. Magma gives you some special functionalities, which you can kind of click into right there, and you can see all those high performance metrics for when you're driving super aggressively. Up top, we've got the auto dimming mirror. It's also the digital camera rear view mirror. And most of the GV60s will come with a panoramic sunroof, but here on the Magma, to save a little bit of weight, this one does not have the sunroof, but it does have a suede headliner.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the rear seat area of the GV60. Now, of course, this is a pretty practical vehicle despite the performance, and you're going to see that here in the rear seats as well. So what we're looking at is about 37 inches of legroom and about 38 inches of headroom. Those are both very good metrics, and I'm 5'9" for reference, and as you can see, I easily fit back here. Now, I don't have time to get out the ruler or anything like that because, of course, we are on a limited time frame with this model, but overall, you can see I have plenty of space. Now, as far as the features are concerned, let's talk about that. So, we have the 2 USB ports right here in the center, and the reason you don't have a ton of center console space is because all of this is left open for additional storage space down below, so that's certainly pretty nice, and I love the look of these one-piece seats here in the rear. It definitely elevates the rear's experience as well. You'll notice vents are located over there in the B pillar. And let's talk about the seats. So the seats are the same as in the front. So you have this suede design with the cross-stitch details. I absolutely love the way these seats look. The orange seat belts as well. You have a fold-down center armrest with 2 cup holders inside. And then if you look over at the door trim, they're not skimping out on the luxury features either because you have rear window sunshades. You also have that beautiful, kind of plaid almost design with the orange stitching and the leather on top. Additionally, we have heated back seats, and that's going to be located over on the door trim right behind the cup holder and the door storage down below. Now, walking up to the tailgate, there is a button integrated under here that you can open up the cargo area. And as far as this area, we're sitting at around 24 cubic feet of space behind the second row of seats. If we fold those seats down, we're looking at around 5 cubic feet of overall cargo capacity. Those are going to be decent numbers for this vehicle. It is going to be a little bit less than something like a GV70, for instance, or the GV80. And as far as how this might compare to other vehicle segments, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/vehicle rankings. We've looked at almost every vehicle segment on the market, and we've ranked them in individual categories, things like rear seats, cargo space, interior luxury and technology, as well as powertrain and value. So depending on what you're looking at, you can definitely find the best option for you on our website, carconfections.com/vehicle rankings. Now, as far as features, the seats are do have the ability to fold 60-40 split. You do not have handles to do it from the cargo area, so you just have to kind of reach up there and fold it down. And then underneath of the floor, there's a little bit of additional space.
Now, of course, this vehicle is all about performance, so let's get into some specifications, because it's very impressive. So, this vehicle, would begin with as little as 225 horsepower for the standard rear-wheel drive model, but when you go for the Magma, it cranks things up to 641 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque, giving you a 0 to 60 in only 3.4 seconds. So that is absolutely fantastic. And you access all of that power when you push that boost button that I was showing you on the inside. Now, this also has an 84 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack, and we don't have the range estimate for this quite yet. However, the other models can get up to 306 miles as a maximum. This will also have the new NACS charging, and Genesis does have really fast charging as well, so 10 to 80% in just 18 minutes with this model. Now, of course, this shares a lot of components with the absolutely bonkers Hyundai Ioniq 5N. And because of that, you're going to have a lot of customizability as well when it comes to actually being able to drift this and choose all types of different performance functions, which is certainly something we're really looking forward to testing out. So make sure you stay subscribed to this channel, because we will be getting behind the wheel of this as soon as possible. And I think you'll have a lot of fun with kind of exploring that with us, because we're certainly looking forward to it.
And now let's talk pricing for the GV60 Magma. So we're going to start at around $52,000 for the rear drive GV60, of course, in its refreshed model year. And then you can see the full lineup of prices on the screen right now. It's honestly a decently affordable EV, that is for sure. And as far as this Magma, they have not released the official pricing just yet, but considering that the performance model starts at around $71,000, I'd estimate that this Magma will likely range around $80,000 or perhaps even a little bit more, depending on how aggressively they want to price this. Now, if you're looking to buy a GV60 or any vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. The reason you should do that is because we have a tool on our website that'll connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool to use while dealership negotiating. If you'd like to take advantage of that, as well as things like our monthly payment tool, you can find a link to that down below in our video description, as well as a pinned comment at the top of this video. As far as availability, Genesis says this vehicle will become available in summer of this year, so you're really not going to have to wait too much longer to pick one of these up, and you're also not going to have to wait too much longer for us to have a full dedicated video on this GV60 Magma, so definitely stay subscribed to the channel if you're not already. We'd love to welcome you in, because we'll be covering this in more extensive detail, as well as a ton of other cars on the market you won't want to miss out on. If you're already a fan and subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.